with oils, and I want to celebrate life with you guys tonight and talk about what we all can do to strengthen our brains. And Shalene mentioned that I'm doing foot zoning. It's something I wanted to do off and on for about 21 years because I did go to a foot zoner when I was first diagnosed. And who knows, I look back at that now and wonder if some signals were changed. You know, there's signals on your feet. I'll talk a little bit about that. But
yeah, some people don't know what it is, Elizabeth,
okay.
So you need to explain it just a little bit.
Foot zoning, more people have heard about reflexology. There's a map on the bottom of your foot, and it's a map of our whole body. Your liver's there, your lungs are there, your spleen is there, your heart is there, everything is there on the bottom of your foot. There's nerves that go directly from our brain down to the feet, and everything is there. And there's pressure points, acupuncture points, if you will, that when you can trigger those, and you will, after you do a full foot zone, you put the body back into homeostasis. It doesn't cure anything, but it helps put the body into a healing process. So if you've heard of reflexology, I would say is like a 10 in helping, and the foot zoning is like 100, because reflexologists will say somebody has a headache, they will work on the big toe because that's where the brain is. But you need to treat the whole body, because the headache might not be caused from something in the head. It might be caused from tight muscles in the back. Excuse me. So when you do a full foot zone, you're treating the whole body. And so that's a nutshell of what a foot zone is. And if you're local, you can come to my house. My website is not done, but at least it has a calendar. It's it's elizabethludrup.com. Elizabeth Ludrup, LODERUP.com. Shalene can share that with you. My zones are free until the 31st of August. And in September, I will be charging $35. And then in October, I will be charging full price at $60. So that's kind of what the zoning is. And I've been studying really hard, and I've wanted to quit so many times, but I've pushed through because it's so hard. Anyway, it's good. The school you have to have a license to go to my school. And so that's one of the reasons why it was so hard, because all the anatomy and physiology. Anyway, so foot zoning. I want to talk about our brains tonight, obviously. If you have questions about foot zoning, Shalene, can you just put in the notes? My email is eludrup@gmail.com. Feel free to, or text me. My phone number is 512-284-0448.
Got it.
Yes, so text me or email me, whatever, if you have questions or if you want to make an appointment. So tonight we're going to talk about the brain. And I'm going to talk to you about neuroplasticity, which I know a lot of you guys know what neuroplasticity is, but we're going to talk about what that is. I've been studying cognitive decline, and I've got some articles from some people. There are physicians that have been also studying cognitive decline. A lot of the articles that I'm following and reading have been studies that have been done with Alzheimer's patients and dementia. And there's a lot of physicians out there, a lot of doctors on the forefront who are figuring out how they can stop dementia, stop Alzheimer's, and even bring it back. And so I've been studying that, because that's basically brain stuff. You know, if you can reverse something, the same thing with my brain. So I've been really studying that. I know this is backwards. Is that backwards to you?
Nope, we're good.
Okay, that is the gentleman. Can you see his name?
Dale E. Bread. Got it.
It's okay. And he has a lot of articles about reversing cognitive decline. Now, some of this is not going to be new to you. We talked about the pyramid. our doTerra pyramid, where eating right. So he has steps, and a lot of other doctors have collaborated, and you're finding it all over the nation. People are talking about it. But our doTerra pyramid is exactly the things they're talking about. And I'm going to add a few more to that. But doTerra pyramid, eating well, fruits and vegetables, mostly vegetables, and experiment with your vegetables. That's what I'm trying to do right now. I have my regulars that I always do, but there's different antioxidants in different vegetables. So I challenge you to get some vegetables that you've never made before. There's different antioxidants in there, and just, even if you don't like them, just start doing them. Like, you know, little kids don't like things and they have it over and over and they like it. So I challenge you to get a few vegetables at the grocery store, and you can find out how to use them. We have the internet, right? And so you can find out different ways to use them. That's one thing I want to challenge you, because we need to increase our vegetable intake. We all know that. So the next part of the, we've got sleep, good sleep, nutrition, and exercise. Those are the three that we all know. And it's hard to do those things. It is hard to get really good sleep, to get really good exercise, and to really eat nutritionally. So, but we don't give up, right? We have good days and bad days. I had a horrible day yesterday. I ate a ton of popcorn. But we don't give up. You don't say, well, I had a bad day, or I had a bad week, I'm lost. You just keep going, keep going, and keep going. It's the toddler analogy. Our kids, when they would fall down when they were toddlers, we never told them, okay, you're not going to walk, never mind, quit trying, ever. So it's the toddler analogy. When you're trying to eat right, keep going. If you're trying to exercise, keep going. Okay, so those are the three things that are basic on our pyramid. That I want to talk about other things. How often do you work your brain? If you have access to a piece of paper or pencil, or on your phone, I want you to write down, I want you to write down 3 things that, well, let me give you my example first, and then you'll kind of know where I'm going for you to write stuff down. I'm going to a life coach. I meet with her every week. It's changed my life. Actually, I should give you her information. It's Kathy Moffat Coaching.
Tell me if it's a C or a K.
Kathy Moffat, Moffat.
And what's
Kathy
her
Moffat Coaching. Her webpage is not quite up because she has so many appointments, and she's such a go-getter. She wants to do her website by herself. So, but you can find her on Instagram. You can find her on Instagram. And if you send your phone number, she loves to do Marco Polo. Her coaching sessions are $75, and you can buy a package with, you know, a package of, and it gets cheaper and cheaper. You can coach with her on Marco Polo for $50 a month, and you can polo her as much as you want.
Wow.
She's amazing, and she's changed my brain. She's really changed my brain. So I'll tell you some things. She asked me, she said, Elizabeth, if you could think of something impossible, literally impossible, that you would want to do, but it was impossible, what would you say? And I said, well, that's easy. I would heal my brain. And she said, how does that feel to you? And I said, it feels really cool, but impossible. She said, nothing's impossible. Nothing is impossible. And I thought, now some people tell her things that are far out, and they really don't believe it in. They don't feel it in their heart. So it's almost like our mind knows a little bit of something that we can or want to do, but it's impossible. So people are not going to say, I wish I could fly or jump off a cliff and not die, because that doesn't even resonate in their heart. But when something, so that started a sequence of me thinking about, okay, so she said, I just want you to feel that for a week and just feel it and be excited about it. And so I did. And I started thinking, what would I do to heal my brain? And there's just been a cascade of things that have happened. So that's what I want to challenge you. Something that you think is really hard, that really wouldn't happen. And if you really think about it and spend time on it, things are going to show up in your life. For instance, I've always been scared of frisbees or softballs, for balls to come at my face, or a frisbee. I never got hit. I don't know where that comes from, but I thought, I am going to learn how to throw a frisbee and catch it. So I want you to, that's the example I'm giving you. I want you to think about something, it may be big or maybe small, that you don't do, that's small, that you would maybe like to do, because for some big reason or some small reason. Just write a couple of things down. And we're not going to talk about it. This is totally for you only.
Dinner's ready. We're doing a doTerra meeting, so we'll be up in a half hour. Sorry.
That's okay. Just savor some.
Dinner's ready.
Yeah, that's okay. So as we talk about cognitive decline, these doctors are telling us, they're telling us that if we're using our brains, stretching our brains and using them in ways that are very, very uncomfortable, we're building neural pathways. We're building our brain. It's a muscle. It's a muscle. So one of the things I'm going to be doing, I'm wanting to heal my brain. That is my goal. And so I'm working with a friend that is a yoga master. So all these things started coming to me. If I'm going to heal my brain, what am I going to do? And it's just like the universe or God, whatever you believe in. I feel like God knew when I said, I'm going to heal my brain, I want your help. All of a sudden the door has opened and all of these things are happening. And so I am doing those things. I'm practicing walking along. I can't put one foot in front of the other because I have a lot of scar tissue in my brain, and the balance center is wacko off. My the occipital lobe of my, I'll show you my head. Can you see my head? Can you see it?
Yeah.
There's that little hole right there. It's an occipital lobe. That is where my radiation went in. And so radiation, or the occipital lobe, has a lot to do with balance, specifically going downstairs. I learned that in my zone class. I was so validated because I can go upstairs fine, but going downstairs, I have to hold on to something. So as I'm in the process of healing my brain, I want you to think about things. I've said this, I want you to think about things that you want to change or want to heal. And we're going to work on our brains, because we can. All these doctors are saying, if they can take Alzheimer's patients and get their brains exercise, eating well, exercising, getting good sleep, and they're reversing it, think about what we can do with our brains. I mean, that's amazing. Not that we don't have memory problems. I think all of us over 40 or 50, we have, you walk in the room and think, what was I going to get? So, how many of you are doing something like this regularly?
Oh, yeah.
These are things that will exercise our brain.
You mean we have an excuse to do them?
Yes, you need to do it. You need to be exercising your brain, Shalene, because and he talks about, if I can read this to you. Let's see. Oh, there's so much here. There's so much there, but when you look him up, and you can see this article, and then I've got another article that you guys can look up, but this is his actual on PubMed. This is the actual science to why he had this basic presentation. Can you guys see? So if you want to look it up on PubMed, it is actually, this is not PubMed. I'm so sorry. Can you see that?
Yep, I got it. I'm typing it in the notes.
And it's the same doctor. Same doctor. So, there's one thing I have to talk about. Oh, Intune. The blend Intune. I know that you all know what Intune is, but I learned during my zoning conference that Intune actually increases the blood flow. I knew about the the neurons connecting and the synapses, but it increases the blood flow to your brain. I'll tell you a story. The first class I went to, my very first foot zoning, education class, starting my certification, we all had the chance, some other professionals came in and foot zoned us so we could have the experience. And when this gal was foot zoning me, there was a place on my head where it hurt so bad, kind of like labor. I mean, it was that much pain. I started crying. I was almost in shock. It hurts so bad. Now, when you do a foot zone and you have a pressure point and it hurts, you kind of back off and the pain will go away. But it wouldn't go away. It took them 10 minutes to calm that center in my brain. They had to take me in another room and work on me. And the gal said to me, actually, it's the owner. She said, you have some serious, serious scar tissue in your brain. And she said, tell me about it after it was all over. She said, tell me about it. And so I told her, but it was fascinating to me that she could tell that there was scar tissue. That kind of sold me. I knew I was, anyway. So when I go to Utah, she works on my brain. It's called the Circle of Willis, where the venous flow and the arterial flow come together in the head. And so there's so much scar tissue there. So
that's crazy that she can tell that from your feet.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
I'll tell you. I'm just going to share some stories, guys. I want you to come to Fit Zones. So I had a gal come in and we were just talking. It's from church, and we were talking about, she said she had a lot of back pain. Do you care if I go on this tangent?
Go on it.
Okay. And anyway, I was zoning her, and I was able to kind of change her hip position from her feet. And because anyway, you know, sometimes you lay down and your feet just kind of go out. Sometimes a lot of people have issues with her hips. Anyway, after I zoned her feet were completely straight, and she stood up and she said, my hips don't hurt. And she didn't come in telling me she had hip pain. I zoned another person yesterday that had terrible headaches. They didn't tell me they had headaches, but I worked on them, and anyway, same thing. The headaches went away. Now it's not a one-shot thing. Her hips, she came in again today, and her hips kind of were out. So it's muscle memory. So I'm having a great experience. The people that are coming back, we're really seeing a big change. So yes, it's on the feet. So my brain is getting better. Another thing I would suggest for any cognitive decline or support is something called cranial sacral therapy. Cranial sacral therapy.
How do you spell sacral? S-A-C-R-A-L?
Uh-huh. Yeah. It's a type of massage. It's a head massage, and I'm doing that also. I'm doing a lot of things to heal my brain. But it can be helpful for a lot of things. Injuries, head trauma. It's a big help for head trauma. The gal that I go to has some college athletes that are not playing anymore because of head trauma, and she works with them. So it's a really, really powerful
Therapy.
Therapy, thank you. It's a very powerful therapy for cognitive issues. And my balance is getting better, and my handwriting is starting to get better. When I was in the hospital 2 years ago, I lost my handwriting because of some bleeds in my brain. And so my handwriting is starting to come back. So when I was growing up, my mom always said, whatever you say is right. So if I came home from school, I said, Mom, this project is too hard. I can't do it. She would say, you're right. And it made me so mad. And that's how we grew up. She said, whatever you say, you're right. So, oh yes, from Upledger, yes. And if you're going to find somebody, you want to find somebody that went to the Upledger school.
Good job, Becky.
Thank you, Becky. Well, that's my personal opinion because they have a name for themselves, but yeah, Upledger. So whatever you say, you're right. And so listen to what you're saying to yourself. I know we talk about positive talk and negative talk, but think of the little tiny things that you say to yourself and make a note. Say, you know what? I'm going to hear everything I'm saying. I'm going to hear it, because sometimes you'll say, well, I don't remember what I said. Everything be intentional. So, you know, I'm talking about healing your brain, but I'm literally healing that your thoughts are vibrations. Your thoughts are vibrations. If you turn on a radio and it's playing country music and you don't want to play country music, you turn the dial and you hear something else. It's because the waves in the air are different frequencies. And you don't see the waves in the air. You don't see the radio waves for the music, but they're there. That's just like the vibration of anything. I mean, wood vibrates. The closer you are to nature, the higher vibration, but everything vibrates. Okay, I don't want to get lost here. Okay. So I have this wonderful article on neuroprotective anti-aging potentials of essential oils and aromatic plants. This was published in Frontier. I'll just put it up here. I think it's easier when I do this.
Okay, a little bit further away. Up a little bit. Potentials.
Yeah. Got it?
Medicinal plants. Got it.
Okay. This is an amazing article. I'm going to read to you a little bit of it because we get into the chemistry and that's not something that everybody wants to look at, you know. So, but bear with me. Let me just read you the beginning. The use of essential oils and their components is known since before even traditional medicine has been around. I'm kind of paraphrasing. The neuroprotective and anti-aging potentials of essential oils and their possible mechanism of actions were evaluated by numerous research around the globe. This article goes on to tell, it's also talking about the same thing as neuroplasticity and supporting the nerves and neurons in your brain. Just like I said about Intune, right here. So, does everybody know what Intune is? We talked about it.
Yeah, everybody that's on should know.
Should know what that is. Okay. So there's nobody new. Okay. So I just lost my train of thought.
Dinner time.
Some of these. Oh, I know what I was thinking. Okay. Sorry, I'm kind of all over the place. Look this article up. If you go to doTerra.com and go to their blog, they have so many articles. The last class I taught on the brain, I used a lot of those articles. They have some really good information on memory. They have some really good memory or information on stress and what that does to memory. So go to the blog on doTerra and look that up. I don't want to not talk about that. I had another class that I talked about PTSD and brain injury, and I'm not going to talk about that tonight either, but the resource is Danielle. She's the Holistic Psych. You can find her on holisticsite.com.
SITE?
What? SITE? No, psych. Like the psychologist.
Psych.
Yeah, psych.
Got it.
She got her, I think it's H. I think she is holistic.
That's what I put.
Not with a W though.
Oh, take the W off. There we go.
Yeah, yeah. She got her PhD in using doTerra oils with people that have been in war, coming back from combat. Yeah, and the whole study. And so she's working in California right now with people with PTSD from being out in the field. So she's got a whole, she's got chapters of what to use for PTSD. I can give you some of those if you want right now. Copaiba acts on the cannabinoid receptors, which we know, but it does not alter motor performance. She has found that lavender is the best oil for in the moment. Bergamot she's had the most success for that, for relieving fear and anxiety. Now we have, adaptive now, so there's a lot, but I'm just showing these things that she has shared. Rose is effective for shock and panic attacks. And Patty knows also rose is so good for anxiety, and she shared that great class with us. Juniper berry is very good for nightmares. Anchor and Align, those are both from the yoga kit, and they are also very, very good for the nightmares. She has a post-combat stress blend.
Can I say something about Anchor?
Yes.
Yeah, if you wake up having a nightmare, and if you'll just take a drop of Anchor and put it on your feet, on the bottom of your feet,
It's gone.
Yes, you'll be anchored, you'll be grounded.
That's wonderful.
That's really work.
Oh, I'm glad to know that. I'm going to pass that on to my son. Okay, post-combat stress blend. 6 drops each of patchouli and cedarwood. 6 drops each of frankincense, juniper berry, and vetiver. And 4 drops of petitgreen. And a lot of times when they come back, they have a lot of fear and they retreat from life. They pull back from life. And she has a blend for that. And it's 3 drops of each rose, geranium, and spikenard.
What would you call that one?
Withdrawal from life. That's what she calls it. Withdrawing from life.
What I'm typing in the mix is really a mess, but maybe you'll get the gist.
They'll get it. And Shalene, I can send you a copy of this. I'll just take a copy on my phone and I'll
That'd
just
be great.
send it to you. Okay. She has a panic attack blend, which is 10 drops of lavender, 5 drops of frankincense, 10 drops of heliochrysum, and 5 drops of marjoram.
First one.
10 lavender.
And I forgot to say, these are all in a 10 ml roller bottle, and then you fill it up with fractionated coconut.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and for physical trauma, of course, heliochrysum, right? And then you can add frankincense, but for sure she wants rose and spikenard in there. And 4 drops of each.
And that was too much. I lost it. So you send me a picture and I'll forward it out to these guys.
Okay. So brain injury is very interesting. When you look at an MRI of somebody that has experienced severe mental or emotional abuse, you will see signs of brain injury. So when we talk about brain trauma and cognitive, trying to gain cognitive ability, it's all kind of in the same area. Alzheimer's is getting a lot of media, a lot of everybody's noticing it because it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And we at doTerra and other people's that eat well, we know when you're eating junk, you're getting junk into your brain, and that's what's happening. And so it's very fascinating and very validating to know that if we do these things, whether it be cognitive decline or PTSD, it's the same thing. We want to feed and nourish our brains. So that is what I'm offering for you tonight and myself, because I'm seeing the difference. It's slow, and I'm doing several things. I'm doing the cranial sacral. I'm doing these very simple yoga positions. I'm not even getting off my bottom. I'm just, because my brain can't, you know what warrior one is? I can't even do that. And I found this friend that has been doing yoga since she was 3, and she's 50 now. And so I'm learning the basics of yoga. So just exercise your brain. Do what feels good to you. Don't be overwhelmed, because when it's something that's really calling to you, the universe will open up and things will happen and it will come. So that's my challenge. Start exercising your brain in one of these ways, and look at one of those things that you wrote down on the paper. And mine is going to be frisbee. I really want to throw a frisbee, because you have to walk back and forth without looking, and I don't want to fall over, and I won't fall over. I'm not going to fall over, but that's one thing. I'm going to learn to throw a frisbee. So next time I get on a Zoom call with you guys, which I'm not, probably months and months away, I'm going to tell you how my frisbee throwing and catching is going.
I'm going to ask you.
I know. So you guys think about it, because I want to hold you accountable too. Any questions or comments?
I love what you said about past tense and how what you learned, what the oil did. I wish we had a list of what each oil actually does. For us.
Physiologically.
Because I've heard that peppermint opens up the blood vessels and lets the blood flow smoothly through. And when I say that, I'm like, well, that makes sense if you put it on having a stress headache, that your blood's going to flow better and it's going to relieve it. I wish I had something like that about every oil.
Every oil. Yeah, it would be really nice. So let me even go deeper with the peppermint. You've got your vessels, right? And the vessels don't, well, they do open, but what happens is you've got, those vessels are lined with muscles, right? And those muscles, it shrinks those muscles, the small tissue, the small muscle in the, it shrinks it. And so that's why it opens it up. I just think that's so cool.
It is so cool.
It is so cool.
We're so blessed to have these oils. Any questions? Anybody else have questions for Elizabeth? I would love a picture of that page. If you take a picture,
I'll do it right now.
and send it to me. And then, oh, it looks like Becky put on some information about a yoga person too. Ooh, that looks awesome. And biology of belief. Ooh, that looks cool.
Yeah, it's written by Bruce Lipton. He's a PhD, but he talks about the actual chemical things that happen in your brain when you believe something. It is fascinating. It's not an easy read. I think I'm stuck, and it is not an easy read. But if you want something really difficult to read, it's powerful.
Well, that's what happened to you when your mother said, when you came home from school and said you didn't want to do that project. It was too hard.
It was too hard. You're right. But
You're right.
You can have choices. If you do, so that project at school, I could have said it's too hard and not done it. Or so you can have choices. This is, I've gotten into it. This is not one of my choices, because I'm choosing to use my time for some other things. Because I'm just starting this, and this is really just to me. It's, how many of you guys do this?
My daughter does Sudoku really well.
I enjoy it.
My husband did it. But
and I enjoy crosswords and word games and number games, just anything.
And
so
I
give you permission.
I love it. I needed that permission. Now I don't feel guilty anymore.
Yes. No, you need to be doing it. My grandmother, I just went back to her funeral. She was 100 years old.
Wow.
And she was reading the paper and her scriptures with magnifying, she had to magnify it, but she, till the day she died, 2 days before she died, she fell and broke her hip, but she was cognitively there 100%. She had memory issues, but not bad memory issues. And so I was really, really prompted to do this, especially after I read these articles. Everything has just come into play. So, yeah.
Thank
I'll
you,
share
Elizabeth. You're amazing.
I'm going to share one more thing. Has everybody gotten off?
Go for it.
We're all here.
Okay, sorry. I don't want to just keep talking, but it's so interesting what our belief systems are. When I was first diagnosed, I really couldn't play the piano. My right hand didn't work very well. And then I was taking care of kids and having help, and that whole time really not doing well. Piano was the furthest thing from my mind, and my right hand didn't work.
So good for your brain.
Right, exactly. But it's interesting because we went back, and I've told everybody, you know, I don't play the piano anymore. I can't play. My right hand doesn't work. And that's been my story that I have said for a long time. I went back and we were watching old family movies, and I was accompanying a woman in our stake, Cheryl White, on her cello. And I thought, wait a minute, that is post-brain tumor. I've told myself that story that I don't play the piano. I can't play the piano. And so I am learning. I'm starting piano lessons next week.
Good for you.
But if you don't use it, you lose it. And so the rewiring, anyway, I'm so excited
Making
about
it happen.
Yeah, making it happen.
So Elizabeth, you started off by telling us 1997, you were given 2 weeks to 6 months to live. You are a miracle, miracle, miracle. And you are a blessing in so many people's lives. Thank you so much for this information. We will share it with others so it can ripple along and help other people too.
Well, thank you for having me on. It's good to see you guys.
Thank you so much. All right. Next week, guys, on the list, if those of you follow a list that I have, we were supposed to learn about our metabolism from a guest presenter, Sylvia. She had a family emergency come up and had to leave town and is not going to be here. So you will have a surprise class next Tuesday night by Lee Herring. I will just be coming home from Utah. So Lee's going to surprise you, but she says she may need some audience participation. So don't let that scare you away from coming. And we'll have Lee teach us next Tuesday night. And we'll start our business meeting in just about 30 seconds. So thank you all for coming. Those who want to stay on would love it.
Sorry, I didn't have a clock, so I hope I didn't.
You're perfect. No problem.
Okay,
Thanks
see you
for being
later.
with us, Elizabeth. Love ya.
Bye-bye. Love you too.
All right. And Lee's got our business meeting for tonight. Thank you, Lee.
Okay, let me get where I want to be. I'm going to show you a little bit about the link generator. So all I did was type in doTerra link generator. It comes up, it says labs.doterra.com
You know this?
-generator. And it's got a little caret in there, but I found if you put / we go to it, there it is, and it says labs.doterra.com /link-generator. So you want to send some product information to your sister. The link generator, you enter your member ID. It's going to ask you your market, and you can do enrollment, product, education, or other. So I'm going to do product, and I'm going to pick adaptive system and push generate link. And it's going to come up with this huge personalized link, https://www.doterra.com/us/en/p/adaptive-system ? owner ID equals, and that's my number. So I'm going to convert that URL to a short link, which makes it much more manageable for people. And I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to email it to myself. But if you look down here, it says test link. So you can click on test link, and looky what shows up. Here is me.
What's that?
says, there's my picture. It says Lee Herring, independent wellness advocate. Need help? Contact me. And then it brings up the adaptive system page for them. You can do that with any product. If you somebody wants to enroll, Molly and I did this last week. She has a friend in Maryland who wants to enroll. So we sent her a link for enrollment, and that's got Molly's ID in it. So Molly will be able to enroll her friend through the link generator. You can do it with education. You can do it with a product. You can do it just about anything that they have on the on their website. If you look at there's the homepage about doTerra, the story, the executives, the science, headquarters, a fact sheet, what is an essential oil, why doTerra, using essential oils. So all of these kinds of things, the science blog, the business blog, all of these things that they do, they're all in that other, and you can send somebody a link to any of that. So just wanted to share that with you guys tonight. Practice with it. I just email myself and see what comes up when I email myself. And then when I have somebody who wants to see things, then that's what I can do. So this says in doTerra Labs, the tools are the link generator, the digital marketing kit, the doTerra Social, where you can get some information on how to share things through social media, and the US Founders Club 2.0, which is what's going on right now. So, any questions?
I'm curious who uses it.
I use it.
I use it.
I use the other one. I didn't know about this one. Where I'm already signed in, and then I go to, I don't know what I go to. I just know how to do it.
That's why I do it that way, because I can't ever remember where to go when I'm
Yeah.
Oh.
What do you do, Leanne?
Do you want me to, I can do a screen share if you want me to, and show you.
And I wanted you to know too that if you'll notice over in the little chat, there's a little three dots. It says file, and then it's got 3 dots.
Yeah.
Or you can save that chat to a file on your computer.
Really?
Yes.
Can anybody save it?
Easier than.
Interesting. Good to know.
So it's
over here you can hit
it's kind
that
of weird
file and
looking,
save
but
the
it's.
chat.
I can probably show that too.
Then you don't have to be madly writing it down or.
Right.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Let me share that real quickly before you share.
Okay.
So that's what it looks like.
Oh, interesting. Sorry, boy, that's all me. But that's better than trying to write it out, and then you can take the information you want.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Yeah, that's really good. What do you want to share, Leanne? I want to see it.
Yeah, you go.
So if you go, so if you log in here, can you guys see that?
Yep.
Okay, great. Okay. All right, and you go to, not my office, I'm on this touchpad that I'm not used to using here. Okay, so you go to account profile.
There we go.
Here.
Uh-huh.
Now, these tools, they overlap a lot. So,
Yes.
but this one has a few. How do I scroll? Oh my goodness. I am so bad with this.
Isn't it funny when you're used to a certain computer and then you're on a different laptop?
Oh,
There it is, right under my
Yeah.
business.
My mouse died, I think.
There we
Oh,
go.
there it is under my business. Okay.
Yeah, my business link generator here. Now, it's called, something really the same thing, I think, but it's
Yeah.
a little bit different. And so
Yeah.
you can I think you can do all the same things, but you can do a little bit more.
Yeah, this might be what Sherry was talking about, making a guest
Yes.
bag for somebody with everything they
Right.
want in it.
And I have done that before. I just couldn't get back to it.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Leanne.
So you can do, if you want to enroll them, you can pick sign up, and you can pick what kit they want and
Right.
send a direct link. Or if they want retail, I guess you can do that same thing with the guest bag. But
Thank you. I needed to see that because people kept talking about another way, and I'm like, I don't see that. So I've only
and
done
then
the other way.
there's the educate button too, which is a
Yeah.
simple pick
Yep.
the products. Okay.
So the other day I was sending an email to somebody, a lady that helped me at the bank, having health issues, and she wanted to know about Serenity and Lifelong Vitality Pack. So I sent her the educate one about both, and then I sent her the sign up with just one of them, so that if she wanted to sign up right then, she could. But then if she wanted to become educated before she signed up, she could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
And
a great tool.
It is a great tool.
But I didn't really know about the guest bag and how to use it.
Yeah,
So
that's
now
cool.
I could have sent her that one too.
The guest bag is cool because even though it's retail, it always asks them, well, do you want to save and do the membership? So
Yes. Yeah.
That's good. That's good to know it's retail. So if you have somebody saying, hey, I just want to buy this, great, here's your link.
Yep.
But consider enrolling, and then they'll get that little prompt while they're looking at it too. Awesome. Awesome information. You guys are the best. Love you all. Thanks for being on tonight. Oh, Lee, sorry. Did you have anything else, Lee? You good?
Nope.
All
Done.
right. So next Tuesday night, Lee's going to teach us, and I'll be on for a business meeting, and I'll be back home. And I hope you all have a wonderful week. Keep sharing. So many wonderful things to share. Keep it up. Change your lives.
y'all.
Love y'all.
Thanks. Love you too. Bye-bye.